What is it?
But a killer is a murderer.
Some shit.
It's something, and I hear people say it very often, and it's actually very true because that could have killed us.
I gotta look up that thing. I gotta look it up.
Yeah.
Because
Just ask anybody. Ask
for
your
real.
ask your
What?
people
Let
on
me-
Facebook.
Let me Google it while I'm here, bro. Let me Google it while I'm here because that's what.
A liar is a thief. A thief is a murderer, and a murderer is something. Murderer going to jail.
Murderer goes to jail.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, our aviation enthusiasts and health fanatics. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the AviDoct podcast. I'm LaSalle Jacobs, your aviation professional navigating the skies.
And I'm Khadija Jacobs, your friendly neighborhood doctor, here to keep you grounded, entertained, and healthy.
Listen, whether you're soaring through the clouds
Or even seeking tips for a healthier lifestyle,
you're in the right place.
Jinx. Together, we'll explore the intersection of aviation and healthcare, bringing you fascinating insights, expert interviews, and a touch of our own life adventures.
So, fasten your seatbelts
And grab your stethoscopes
because it's time for the AviDoct podcast to take flight. Stat.
A single lie discovered is enough to create doubt in every truth ever expressed. That's a fact.
Definitely.
All right, so welcome back, listeners and friends, family, everyone, to another episode of AviDoct Podcast. We're at episode 3. We apologize for not producing as we promised, but life has been lifing, and there are many times when we decided to create some episodes and our son just said, no, not tonight. You guys are not ignoring me tonight.
Is either you create with me or don't create
At
all.
all. And guess which one we chose?
Not to create.
Not at all. Okay, but before I dive into today's episode, I just want to touch a little on something we mentioned on our last episode with Forgotten Fathers. At no point I want you guys to think that LaSalle's fatherhood thus far has been perfect. We have and probably still do kind of struggle at times to map out that path for fatherhood, to find that good balance and everything. But when we put it all together, he is an excellent dad. I just gotta look, so let me just wrap it up. But today we're tackling a very touchy topic, and since we are in flight mode, I would say it's a turbulent topic. I hope some of you, after listening today, I hope some of you take away some good facts.
Yeah.
And some of you cut some friendships that you need to cut.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of cutting friendships, today we're talking about cutting toxic relationships. This is an often talked about topic that people take very lightly. They don't understand the gravity of having toxic relationships, especially friendships. We're not going to touch on the romantic relationships. I'm going to focus solely on friendships. You're good with that?
Yeah. Most definitely. We can do that.
Good. So recently, we have had a mutual friend who we decided to cut ties with.
Oh, no. You're going right in, huh?
Yeah, I'm just going to get to the point. I don't want this to be long and boring or anything like that.
I got you.
And it took such a toll on me personally, emotionally, that I thought at this age, in my late 20s, that everyone that I had in my circle were solid.
Yeah.
I didn't think that at no point at this age I would still be shaving off people from my life. But this one really took me out, and both you and I,
Yeah.
we had to cut ties with that person, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that should be the key word for tonight.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But knowing when to end a friendship is key, because sometimes I feel like we have a cut off culture or cancel culture that, in my opinion, is not the best. I think that sometimes our population is graceless, for the want of a better term. I think sometimes we can extend grace to a person, but for me, it's like 3 strikes and you're out. And unfortunately, the person we cut off had exactly 3 strikes.
Man, listen.
And then they were out.
You know what? It's funny you say they had 3 strikes, but if I'm to speak on this, honestly, I think they had about 10 strikes.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's some that I just didn't see.
Yeah,
and that's
actually
the thing.
you actually looked past most of it.
Yes,
But
I did.
in most cases, and I'm certain you were about to mention it. I would often pick up on things prior to it happening.
Yeah, you got an eye for those things.
Definitely. And there are things that I would look into that, of course, you would overlook.
Yeah.
While on the other hand, there are things when you would be more forgiving than I am.
Yes,
You know,
I am very more forgiving.
But if I may make mention of something, I most definitely want to say, in this episode, I want to share with you guys that saying goodbye doesn't necessarily mean it's something bad.
That's
true.
true.
It's not you losing. It's often you making way for new blessings.
There you go.
So let's take that and run with it.
Yes, we definitely will. So, LaSalle, knowing when to end a friendship can be very challenging, but I believe there are clear signs that we should always watch out for.
Yeah.
Do you want to give me some of the clear signs that we know of and have researched also? Because, guys, when we come to you with some facts. We don't just, take things out of thin air and out of our heads.
Most
so we have some facts for you too.
Well, you know what? Let's do it this way. Why don't I give you one? All right, you give me one, and then I'll probably come with the final one.
Okay, I'm good with that.
All right. I mean, hey, so I would say if it brings more negativity than positivity in your life, then it's one-sided.
Okay.
It's really one-sided, because you have to be assertive with everything that you do.
Yeah.
And if you're going to entertain people around you, and not just around yourself, when you're married, you're entertaining people around your family.
Yeah.
You're bringing them into your circle. You're going to have them amongst people that you refer to as loved ones. And you don't want that level of negativity rubbing off on anyone that's around you.
Yeah.
Because people tend to judge you based off of the people you surround yourself by.
Definitely. Yeah.
And if you're going to have negative people who are constantly lying, people who are bringing up, or making up stories to, of course, justify why they should be around you in some way or the other, I don't think that can be labeled as anything positive at all.
Yeah.
And it's funny, because there are instances when people are making up these stories, or even if they are telling untruth.
Yeah.
Most of the time, the people that you are around, your loved ones, we'll refer to them as loved ones, they in most instances have knowledge of what they're speaking of.
Yeah.
And even if they don't, they can pick up the energy. They can
Granny knows best.
Exactly.
Mommy knows best.
Yeah. They can sit down and say, this guy, he ain't sound like he telling the truth. Something sounds fishy there.
Yeah.
And of course, they would bring it up when that person leaves.
Yeah.
If they're not around you, they would be like, you believe what a man just said?
Yeah.
Or you believe what a girl was telling you?
Yeah.
Something about it, it makes sense, and then they would start shooting certain questions, and you're like, really? Okay. Should I? Is it true? Is it not? Once you have to start double thinking all of these things, I don't think that is a friendship that you want to have around you. And it's just bringing negative vibes most of the time.
Yes.
So I think that's my first pitch on that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with if you constantly feel drained after the interaction with that person, then I think it's time for you to reevaluate your life and that relationship. Oftentimes, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't have friends who could confide in you, or if you are like a therapist or so, or if you have therapist vibes, then and people come to you and lay their burdens, it's okay. But someone who I like balance.
Yeah.
So friendships must be balanced. If you're my friend, there are times when you can lay on my shoulder, you can lay your burdens on me. And there are times when we have fun and we just vibe and it's energy. But if you're always coming to me with your again, negative vibes,
Yeah.
You're going to leave me drained all the time because I am just constantly pouring out into you and there is nothing in return.
Yeah.
And I believe we should have expectations in the relationships that we try to maintain. I know this Gen Z era try to say, oh, expect nothing from people and whatever. I do have expectations, especially if I am a good individual to you and I am pouring out to you. I expect, maybe not in the same capacities, but in some other pockets of my life, I expect you to replenish for me and pour into me also.
Definitely.
So if I'm feeling drained every time you talk to me, then listen, I don't want to talk to you at all. You just keep whatever is happening with you, by you, leave me alone. Yeah.
But what if I mean, don't you think people might probably refer to that as them wanting your shoulder to lean on, and them coming and share their troubles with you in most cases?
That's what I said. It's fine if you want to share your burdens or your troubles with me. I am there for that. I can be a listening ear. I can give advice.
Okay.
But life has to be balanced. You just can't be coming to me just for that all the time. What happens to the other pockets of our relationship as a friend?
Yeah.
What happened to us going for breakfast, going for dinner? What happens to reciprocating, like allowing your shoulder to be there for me to lean on when if I'm just listening to you all the time, then...
And that's actually a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, you find a lot of friendships really go downhill because of that.
Yeah.
You know, you're always there for someone, you know, whenever they need to share their burdens, or even if they want advice on something.
Yeah.
They would reach out to you. They'll be like, hey, you know, what's going on? Such and such. But then there are times when you just need someone to talk to.
Yes.
You know, because and I say this from a good place. You know, in your marriage, there are times when, you know, you don't necessarily want to just sit down and speak to your spouse about everything.
Oh, hell no.
You know, you have friends that you want to call and say, yo, you ain't understand what's going on, and you just start shooting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not saying it's gonna be something that you'll keep away from your spouse. It's really not. It's just that it's a different listening ear.
Yes, and sometimes you need a different perspective than your spouse. Like,
most definitely.
Yeah.
And you know, once you can reach out to someone, if they're always reaching out to you, and you're available and ready, why not reciprocate that? Like you rightfully said.
Yeah.
You know, once it's reciprocated, I think that friendship
it
literally
blossoms into
something
different.
amazing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because it's no longer one-sided.
One-sided.
You see how everything is tying in. Yeah, but and I do have another one.
Oh.
Before you can go.
Oh.
This is my biggest one for the year. When you lie, you lie, you lie. If you are consistently being lied to, then you need to cut that off.
Yeah.
And this is a tricky topic because, again, recently, when we found out that we have been consistently lied to about multiple things, about sexual harassment, about monies, and you know, multiple things, we were then, I would say, gaslit. I would say I was gaslit because I confronted the person. I was gaslit into thinking that I was wrong for discovering the truth. In a sense where the person told me that I told you these things in confidence and you keep talking about it. Something to that extent, right? But what this person would never get is an explanation from me of how these things are discovered. I am not a person to go and share people's business when they speak in confidence. But trust me, just as God or the devil is using you to spew lies and sow discord and sow misinformation, God is also using me, one of his children too, and is working on and through me to discover your lies. Right? A lot of people hide behind the context of, oh, God is, redeeming me and all these things. But just like he's using you, he is using me too.
Preach, Sister Cuddy, preach.
Right? And I never went and, oh, this is what I was told and about. No, it was never discovered like that.
In no way did you breach that level of confidentiality.
No way. No way. But that person does not deserve that explanation from me. But it just shows you like how people could just gaslight you into thinking that, am I really the problem in this situation of lies that you told me? And the reason why this one really hit home so hard is because this person, the first time lied, I had given them some money to put in my bank account in Guyana, and they never did. I went down asking for my card, asking, trying to check my money, no money in my bank account. Meanwhile, they were telling me, oh, I put the money in there and I even put extra for your baby. Like, okay, that was not necessary, but whatever. If you did it, you did it, And me asking 1, 2, 3 times in a span of like 2 years, because I didn't come home for like a year and a half. And you consistently saying, yes, I put it. For me to come home and find out that it was never there.
Wow. Not even $1?
Not even $1 was deposited.
Wow.
I was so gutted because it's something so simple, and I am a person, you know me, I don't get upset very easily with things like that. If you had said to me, I couldn't find the time to deposit this money via ATM or go into the bank, I would understand.
Come up with some explanation.
Come up with something, I am too busy with my job, whatever, because I know you're the person's very career oriented and stuff like that. So like just lying about that left me so gutted. I cried because it's like that was so unnecessary. 1. 2, sowing discords when it comes to my friendships. So if you on the outside, I have a friendship and a relationship with you. But I also have like my besties who are girls, like my girlfriends. You lying to me, making up an entire story about what one of my besties said to you. And me, of course, if you tell me something about somebody, I'm gonna have some sort of emotions towards that person now, because if you come and tell me my best friend said X about me, then I'm gonna have an attitude with my best friend, for a while before. So this is how I am. I'm not just gonna go and fly in her face. I'm gonna start pulling back a little and just observing. That's me. I am anxious avoidant. That's my personality type, and I embrace that. But then my friend started noticing this is what happened. And, she was like, hey, you've been a little distant as of lately. And then I just had to say, like, there's something that's just bothering me.
Mm-hmm.
I was told XYZ. I didn't disclose who I was told by or anything like that. But it was such a lie birthed from nothing truthful, that eventually I had to disclose where it came from.
Yeah. Because of course you're here. You had to approach it cautiously because you, of course, is of the thinking that everything mentioned to you is true.
Yes.
So once you approach whomever it is, then you in your own skin would have to be able to say, hey, this is what I heard.
Yes.
How true is it?
Yeah.
But of course, you're still, like you rightfully said, you're not saying where it came from.
Yeah.
But you're saying what it is.
Yeah.
When you mention where it came from, what was the atmosphere like? What was the whole
it was a
fiasco?
shocker.
How did it go?
It was a shocker because my friend, she was like, impossible. I do not believe this.
Wow.
I have never had a conversation like this with this person. Never in my entire life. I've never even had this conversation with someone else. So this was all a birthed lie. And this is what makes cutting this relationship so important to me, in that if you can tell me that you are sorry, because the person did apologize after being exposed, obviously. But in the apology said that they exaggerated some things. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what an exaggeration is, then we have a problem. Because for me, an exaggeration is to amplify something that it was truthful before.
Yeah.
Amplify some fact. Maybe you just add on a few colorful things to make it sound more interesting. But this is not an exaggeration. This was a plain lie.
Wow.
And this is where pathological liars come in. When you can just sit and create something and sow seeds of discord, you're a pathological liar and you need to be sent to hell.
Yeah.
Period.
My goodness.
Yeah.
You had it with this person, man.
I did. And like, you would have experienced a lot with me, and you would have pointed out many instances before that these lies were just, keep adding on. You're a person, you're always on to people without them knowing that you're on to them. And I thank God for that from you. For you, sometimes it's annoying, I must say.
Yeah, because there are times when you tend to doubt what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And like anyone.
A lot of times I
would.
doubt what you say.
Would,
yeah, but I have chosen as of recently to kind of follow your lead with these things, given that the experiences we've had, the track record shows that you're the expert at navigating these murky waters. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for me, if I may, all of this stemmed from me not, and I, well, you know what? Let me just say, this is one of the reasons why I really don't have much friends.
Don't say that too loudly, because Facebook says otherwise.
No. I have a lot of people that I follow on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. But the people whom I communicate with constantly, I think it's a very small circle.
Yeah.
And you know this, when we first met, I was just the home guy.
Yeah.
I would be on Facebook, I would be on Instagram, but this whole, I'm out there, I'm going to parties and stuff like that. I'm really not that, or I wasn't that type.
You still aren't.
But I remember when I befriended someone from work. And
befriend.
Yeah, well, we became friends.
Okay.
And it was like, let's all just give it a chance, man. I was like, Kadi, this whole friendship thing, I don't really follow it so much, because people always show you one side, and then when you discover that the person whom they were showing you they are all along really isn't who they are.
Yeah, it's a facade.
Man, I think it hurts more when you figure it out than when someone tells you exactly what you have been missing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you figure these things out, it comes across as if people think you're a fool.
Yeah.
You know, this guy think I'm stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, does this girl think I'm an idiot? You know, and you really don't want those things. And this is why you find that friendship in most cases takes a toll. Actually, in today's society, friendship tend to take a toll on your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And this is something that you have to pay attention to. You know, and once you can pinpoint where and when this starts happening, you can learn or you can figure out whether or not you should be saying goodbye or you should keep entertaining this person.
Yeah.
You know, and in today's society, especially when you're married, this is why I told you when we first got together, I was like, I want my friends to be your friends. I want us to surround ourselves with friends whom are in relationship. You know, friends that we can learn from or we can teach certain things, that we can lean on when we do have a problem, if it's possible for us to lean on them.
Yeah.
You know, because again, if we were to piggyback off what we said, there's not always times when you can lean on
someone.
People.
Yeah.
You know, so once we would have established that that's our rule, I think we did a good job of doing it, but
to an extent,
things
because
change over time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And to an extent, yes, our friends should be mutual, what's not, but we can't neglect the fact that you also, well, when I met you, you hardly had friends. I don't know if it was true or not or whatever. Hey. But now I see that you are a little more open to friendships.
Yeah.
I see that you would have let in a few from the past, or from high school or so on, and I don't know some of them.
Yeah.
I may never know them. I may never have a relationship with them. So there's a give and take when it comes to that, because I can't know all of your friends. Likewise, you can't know, and maybe we're just using friends a little loosely.
Probably.
So we need to maybe check that too. But ideally, yes, we should, know each other's friends and have mutual friends and let friendship be something beautiful to blossom and not something toxic, draining, or something that perpetuates lies and sows seeds of discord. But in everything, our well-being should always come first of all.
Yeah.
And we would have spoken about why it's important, but I want you to just hit it on a nail as to why it is important to cut ties to friendships.
Toxic relationship drain our energies, man.
It does.
It drains our energy. It erodes our self-esteem.
Yeah.
That is a key one. Because you find that your self-esteem should always come first.
Yeah.
You need to always pay attention to that, because some people who neglect that self-esteem aspect of life tend to make poor decisions.
Yeah.
You tend to make a lot of poor decisions, and it hinders our personal growth
Altogether. Yeah.
Hinders your personal growth. And by letting go of these toxic connections, we create space for healthier relationships to flourish and prioritize our own happiness. Key here. Self-preservation is always key. I'm an advocate for that. Me above others. I'm sorry. Me above others. May sound selfish, but it's the context, and always look at the context. Yeah. All right, Kai, just so you know, with all that said, what advice do you have on, or what advice do you have for our listeners with regards to letting go of these toxic friendship or these relationship that we refer to as toxic or negative?
First and foremost, communication is key. It's something that's very overused. Everybody likes to say, "Oh, communication," but sometimes people don't understand that it's a process. And communication is not just you relating to someone, but having that feedback. It's a positive loop. So I believe that you should express your feelings clearly and honestly and assertively, but also be prepared for a backlash. Also be prepared for the response that you're gonna be given and the reactions that you'll get from that person. Not to just put up a wall or a shield, but to just keep in your mind that this person too has a voice and will need to voice their concerns or whatever you're raising. I say we should set clear boundaries and stick to them. Always remember that it's okay to prioritize your well-being and distance yourself from those toxic individuals, even if it means letting go of long-standing relationships. Which this one for me, it was a long, I would say it's a long-standing, because I used to consider that person as a sibling, so yeah, I was very clear. When the last nail in the coffin happened, which was that person, basically saying one of our mutual close friends sexually kind of harassed them. And we found out that it wasn't true. I said that, okay, this is it. And I sent a message saying very clearly that I don't want anything to do with you. And I expressed why. You have consistently lied. You have crossed a boundary. I also mentioned that if you can do this to these people who are very close to us, what wouldn't you lie about and say when it comes to us?
Well, a liar is a thief.
We know the rest.
What was it? A thief is a killer. A liar is a thief. A thief is a
murderer or something like that. Whatever it is.
Bro. A liar is a thief. A thief is a killer, and a killer is a murderer. What is it?
But a killer is a murderer.
Some shit.
It's something, and I hear people say it very often, and it's actually very true, because that could have killed us.
I gotta look up that thing. I gotta look it up. Because
just ask anybody. Ask your people on Facebook.
Let me Google it while I'm here, bro. Let me Google it while I'm here, because what?
A liar is a thief. A thief is a murderer, and a murderer is something. Murderer going to jail.
Murderer goes to jail.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, but whenever we find it, maybe we'll pull it up in the next episode. We'll let you guys know. But
but
I think that was
yourself,
definitely that was actually good advice, Kadi. We're not going to stray away from what we're talking about today, because we have to remember that prioritizing our mental health, prioritizing our mental health and our emotional health also is not selfish.
Yes, it's
not selfish at all.
Yeah.
It is necessary for our overall well-being.
Yes. And if it means cutting it, but you're making your statements clear, then do so. And by no means it's going to be easy when you cut it, because if you know me, it's like things fester on my mind for a very long time before gradually it goes. It goes. So I had to deal with that part of just like, cleansing my life from the thoughts, the memories of this person. We've created quite a few memories, both you and I.
Yeah.
So it was a cleansing moment for me, but I'm over it.
Yeah, man.
I don't know about you. You've been over it.
Boy, pie. It's my thing.
Literally.
I think with this, what I did was, and I found this quote on Instagram. I think it was, where they said, "Goodbye is not the end.
Yeah.
It is the start of something beautiful
Mm-hmm.
waiting to unfold."
There you go. There you go.
I read that and I read it again
Mm-hmm.
and I read it again, and I was like, "This is perfect.
Yeah.
This is
solid.
powerful." And once you understand exactly what this is saying,
Mm-hmm.
you would embrace saying goodbye
Yeah.
in most cases. And I know saying the word or using the word goodbye sounds pretty harsh,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the reality.
It is.
It's the reality that you're walking away, you're leaving. And when you leave, it's with no intention to return.
Yeah.
And as long as you can embrace that and be strong enough, find the courage to do that,
Mm-hmm.
everything will go smoothly.
Everything will go smooth. Now, with that, we are approaching our landing. It was a nice, turbulent flight. We had some really smooth streamlines also, but it's time for us to wrap this up and approach. So there are some points that I want us to leave with our viewers, with our listeners, and I will go with a few. Maybe we have 5. I will go with a few, and then you can pick up the rest.
Okay.
So my first point would be leave when it does not serve you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What's yours?
Express why you're leaving.
Yes. My next one would be gracious in relationships. Not everything is to cancel. Some can be worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Give them 3 strikes. Yeah.
I think the final one we can leave with
Mm-hmm.
is to always pray for your friendships.
Solid. That is solid.
Pray
Go, Brother
for your
LaSalle.
friendships. And as much as you pray for your family, as much as you pray for your relationship, as much as you
Yeah.
pray for your marriage, as much as you pray for yourself,
Yes.
pray for your friendships.
Pray for your friendships.
Because these are people that you're letting into your life
Yeah.
as members who are not of the same or who does not have the same blood.
Yeah.
You find you're letting these people around you, you're letting them into your home, you are having them around you most of the time, and you find in some cases they are around you more than family members.
Yes.
So pray for your friendship,
Yeah.
pray for your friendship,
Yes.
pray for your friendship.
Wow. That was so profound from you, Brother LaSalle. Surprisingly. And this is not on the script, so you hit it on the nail there. Thank you so much for that.
Most definitely.
And that is kind of a reminder for me, because sometimes I place so much emphasis on praying for you, Lakai, myself, my family, in that I forget that they're the people I talk to every single day, my friends. So thank you so much for that. Typically, we would normally cheers to our topic with some El Dorado 12-year rum. But today, we decided to, just go a little calmer, a little softer. And we have some hot chocolate tonight.
Nah. Why not?
So, my cheers moment from this episode is going to be praying for your friendships. I took that from you. My cheers moment is pray for your friendships. That was so profound.
Perfect.
I'm sorry for taking that from you.
Cheers to that. I think my cheers moment is going to be in the art of saying goodbye. We discover the strength of our own wings.
Yes. Because it takes a lot to leave.
Definitely.
It takes a lot to say goodbye.
In the art of saying goodbye, we discover the strength of our own wings.
Say it to the camera.
I don't think they want to hear it again. I don't think they want to hear that again.
In the art of saying goodbye, we discover the strength of our own wings. That's so nice.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
So, if you have to put these relationship on pause, cheers to that.
Pause.
If you have to put these relationship on pause to figure out exactly how you're going to approach this goodbye, put it on pause. say your goodbye and don't look back.
That's delete.
Just leave. You gotta block them. But yeah, guys, we have, came to our final destination where we would have been through a turbulent flight, and we refer to it as turbulent because of all that we would have experienced throughout this particular friendship that we touched on during the episode. Nonetheless, we want to thank you guys for joining us on this adventure, on this process of us saying goodbye. And we appreciate you guys listening to our episodes. We know that for the past, weeks, we have not been as consistent as we wanted to be.
Yeah, but we plan to fix that.
We plan to work on that. We plan to work on that. So again,
looking for a babysitter from Guyana.
Man, listen. Being parents is really parenting, man.
Yeah.
But we want to thank you guys for flying with the AviDoct podcast. We enjoyed your company, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode.
Yeah, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram, on YouTube, like and subscribe to our channel. And our personal Instagram, mine is I think it's Dr. Emma Jane. That's Dr.EMAJANE. And yours is last_Jacobs. And we're all on Instagram. Follow us, interact with us. We love hearing from you. And even email us. That's avidocpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, most definitely.
So let's hear from you. And with that being said, over and out.
Good night.